Hello, and God bless those striving to please the Lord. So, God is making and keeping promises. He's making and keeping promises, and He's setting expectations for us. He's giving us instruction. He's setting standards, and He is expecting that we meet those standards. He's expecting that we put forth the necessary effort because the promises that He's making us, like, they're good. They're good promises. And He is requiring that we have faith that He is good. And He's setting these expectations because there are things that He desires for us to have, that in order for us to obtain, we have to believe that He is good. We have to diligently seek Him. We have to believe that He is good. We have to acknowledge Him for who He is. So as God is pouring out His Spirit and as He's doing these things, as He's making promises, we have to be aware that there's going to be adversity and there's going to be opposition, and we cannot allow for the opposition to distract us, and we cannot allow the opposition to allow us to take our eyes off of the Lord, because it was said that the enemy is trying to attack our consistency. He's trying to attack our consistency, and as we go higher in the Lord, He's going to become more aggressive. So if God is making me promises, and if He's fulfilling promises, and if the hand of God is evident in my life, I have to be aware that that means I'm going to have more opposition, because that is a threat to the enemy, because God is proving Himself to be God in my life. So that's a threat to the enemy. So He is going to, come at me with more aggression so that I, forget, or that I ignore what God is doing. But yeah, as God is manifesting consistently, as He is responding to my efforts consistently, I have to be aware of that. And I have to remember that, I can't let that slip. I can't act as if God is not doing what He's doing. I can't allow myself to forget the things that God is doing, the testimonies, the encounters. I can't allow myself to, I can't let that slip. I can't let that slip. So in the moment where there is opposition against your consistency, you have to remember that, no, this is worth it. This is worth it. Putting God first will always be worth it. Denying myself, it will always be worth it. Doing what my soul is telling me not to do will be worth it. No, God has set a standard. He has made expectations. He has laid down this foolproof plan. He's mapped out this plan. He's ordered my steps. I just have to walk in it. This is inevitable. Success in this way, following this path and experiencing the blessing, receiving the reward for this. No, this is inevitable. So I can't for a moment think as if it's vain, or as if it's not worth it. And that's why God is so amazing, because He's constantly showing us that our labor is not in vain. He's constantly, we have to humble ourselves and acknowledge that God is doing this, and humble ourselves, and not forget that God is doing this. So if God manifests for you last week in a great way, you don't have the right to act as if God does not show up in your life a week later. You don't get to do that. That's pride. That's unbelief. And we have to be very careful about where we allow unbelief to creep in. Because if I don't believe that God is doing these things, then I'm going to be slow in my efforts to pursue Him. Because I pursue God with full effort, because He responds to me, because He rewards me, because, So it's easier to put forth full effort when you know God blesses. When you are uncertain if God is He really gonna show up? Is He really gonna fulfill this promise that He's making? Is this really gonna happen? Is Am I going to receive, the stability that I need? Is this really gonna work out for me? Like, you have all of these questions, and that's gonna cause you to be very hesitant and slow in your obedience. You're gonna second guess it. Do I have to? Does it take all of that? Should I really wake up and pray? Do I really have to lay that down? Do I really have to, surrender that? Do I really have to put God first? You're gonna wonder if it's worth it. And God is constantly showing us, no, it's always worth it. We don't have to wonder if this is working. No, God is working. He's constantly working. He's constantly manifesting. He's constantly showing us that our labor is not in vain. And we have to remember that. We have to be aware of who God is calling us to be. We have to be aware of our identity, what he sees when he looks at us. We have to be aware of the promises that he's making, and we have to hold on to every fulfilled promise. Every fulfilled promise, because as God is fulfilling promises, as he's doing that, that's going to enable me and strengthen me to obey moving forward. That's the next time he gives an instruction, the next time he sets a new standard, whenever it's time to obey the voice of God, he is going to prove himself to be God in my life. He is going to, he's going to show up. He's going to show up every time. And I'm going to know that he's going to show up before he does. Like, I'm going to know, no, this is a sure thing, because he keeps his promises. I have to play my role. I have to do what I'm supposed to do. I have to hold up my end of the bargain. Like, I can't expect God to do these things if I'm not consistent in my pursuit. So I can't be slothful. I can't be wavering. I have to respect God and his goodness, and how any requirement that he sets, anything that he requires that I do, like, goodness is attached to it. And if I don't believe that goodness is attached to it, I'm not going to go after as hard. And that's not pleasing to God, because he's a good God. And he is doing amazing things. He is manifesting in great ways. He is pouring out his spirit. He is giving much power. He is giving much glory. He is sustaining people. He is doing that. He is changing people and making them more like him. So to not pursue God with that understanding, it shows that you are lacking in your understanding and your beliefs on who God is. Because God desires that we be changed. God desires that we be like him. And you desire to be like God. You want to be like God. And for you to think that the problem, the struggles that you have, the internal struggles that you have, the weaknesses that you have, to think that that's the condition that you're going to stay in, makes God a liar, and God is not a liar. So you can't act as if God is not going to make you who he's called you to be. You can't think that God is not going to break the chains off of you. You can't think that God is not going to completely like make you new. He's made you new, and he's making you new. And if you want to be new, you can't just want to be changed. Like, no, you have to go after it. God has made it available. He's promising to do this for you. This is inevitable. If you seek God with all of your heart, no, this is going to happen. The promises are God. The promises of God. No, he is going to continue to fulfill promises in your life. He's going to continue to keep those promises. And that's why it's amazing that out of his mercy, out of his love, he gives us so many testimonies that we have to hold on to, so that we know that, no, this is always worth it. Putting forth effort is always worth it, because if it had not been, if God was not doing this in my life, if God was not doing this, like this would not be possible. The experiences like this is not a coincidence. It's not the things that you experience. Like, this is not a coincidence. This is not normal. This is not natural. Like, this is supernatural. This is miraculous. And there are many different levels on how the Lord shows up and how the Lord proves himself to be who he is. And I was having a conversation with someone today, and it's like, yeah, God is real, and you have faith that God is real. And time again, he manifests and he shows you, no, but I'm really real. Like, I know you believe that I'm real, but I'm real for real, And you don't think that God can continue to break down those walls, those walls of unbelief, but that's what he's doing. He's breaking down the walls. No, this is who I am. Seek me. Serve me, because this is who I am. I'm desiring to make you like me. I'm desiring to, fill you. I'm desiring to increase your hunger and thirst for righteousness. I'm desiring to make you holy. I'm desiring to make you mine. I'm desiring to make you someone who knows how to hold on to the glory. I don't just want to pour out on you. I want to make you the kind of person that knows how to keep what I'm pouring out. So this is what I'm expecting for you to do. And you have to believe that as you do it, you are going to receive great things. So yeah, it's always worth it. Putting God first. Saying no to yourself. Telling your soul no. Like, resisting the devil, like not giving in to what you think you want or what you think you know, like putting that aside and saying yes to Jesus. No, that's always worth it. Oh, but I need to do this, or oh, this is a priority, or I think this is important. Oh, well, if I don't do this, then this is going to happen. No. What did God say? Doing what God said. Like, that's where success is. That's where peace is. That's where joy is. Like, that's where stability is. If you are not surrendering to what God is, what God is saying, if you're not surrendering to the standard that God has set, whatever you think you want, whatever you think you're going to have, like, you are not going to have it. Like, that's not available for you. And if you do get any good thing, it's temporary. It's temporary. God is giving us things. He's giving us treasures that last, that we have now until eternity. Like, that's what God is doing. He's not giving us things for like a season. No, this is yours. You get to keep that. You get to keep that. I'm not taking that from you. You get to keep that. Because you are desiring to have a pure heart, and you're seeking me, and you're obeying me, and you're trusting me. So here, like, I'm giving this to you. I was talking to someone, and they were, they believed that the Lord was setting an expectation to take them higher. And it went against everything they desired. Like, no, I don't want that. Like, I want to please you, God. But if I do it this way, I'm going to lose this. And eventually, they took that forward movement and they just did it. Like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this every single day because this is what I believe you are telling me to do. Like, I believe this is the expectation that you're setting. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue you, God, in this way. And as she did it consistently with faith, with diligence, as she did that, the very thing that God said he would do, he did. And in that season, there were moments of, in her pursuing God, there were moments of, okay, do I have to do this right now? Like, do I have to do this right now? Like, I can take a day off. And she did not give in to that. She continued to seek God. She continued to obey God and do what he was requiring that she do. And that night she had an encounter where the Lord ministered something to her that was life-changing. And then either the next day or a couple days later, that's when he fulfilled the actual promise. So yeah, that testimony Like those kinds of testimonies is what God is doing in the lives of the faithful. That's what he's doing in the lives of the faithful. And it only goes up from there. Like as God reveals himself, as God manifests, as God pours out his spirit, he's letting you know like, well, that's just the beginning. Like you think this is amazing. No, it gets greater. You think the changes that I'm doing in your person, you think you're grateful for that. Praise God. There's more. There's more sanctification. There's more growth. Yeah, more encounters, more manifestations. Like this is literally just the beginning. Like I'm going to show you that I'm God. Just keep seeking me. Just keep seeking me. Keep searching for me. Don't listen to the distractions. Yeah, the enemy is going to become more aggressive. He's going to fight for your focus. He does not want you to be getting the work done the work that you're getting done. He does not want you to get that work done. Like he doesn't like that. He does not want that. So he's going to try to distract you. Oh, you're getting too much power. Oh, no. You're becoming too humble. You're breaking too many curses. Like too many chains are falling off. Like, no. So he's going to come in and he's going to be sneaky. But you have to be vigilant. You have to be diligent. You have to be vigilant. You have to understand who you are and who God says that you are. And you have to trust and believe everything that he said is true. And everything that he does and is doing is real. He's doing this. There's no explanation for this. The testimonies that you have, there's no explanation for that. There's no science can't back it up. No one can explain it. Like, because these are the things of God. These are the things of God. These are high things. These are things that don't make sense to the natural man. No, this is foolishness to the world. It doesn't make any sense. And God is showing, this is who I am. And this is what I'm doing. So don't grow weary in well-doing. Don't allow the enemy to lie to you. Don't get distracted. Don't lose focus. Don't come down for anything. Don't listen to your soul. Don't get out of position. Stay focused. I'm doing this and I'm showing you that it's worth it. So the next time I set an expectation for you, you don't hesitate, because you already know that when you obey, I do this. Like I treat you very special when you focus on me. Like when you focus on me, like I do these things for you. So don't think for a moment that focusing on me isn't worth it or that it's vain. Like, no, he's constantly showing us that our labor is not in vain. So don't come down. Like, don't come down. Don't listen to the lies. Like, respect that you have an adversary, but also respect who God is and who he says that you are. Respect what he's doing in your life. Hold on to that. Like, it's a sure thing. As long as you believe that it is, and you pursue God with that understanding, like this, like what God has for you, like what he's doing, like this is, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Like you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused. It is worth it.